Study topic goals are to first look at interrupts. Timed interrupts are the second type, recall. We have a timed interrupt example in the Timer 1 library. So you're going to, in a little while, in the hands-on exercise, you're going to be installing the Timer 1 library. For more information about that library, this URL will take you there. Timer 1 library contains several different examples. One is the timed interrupt example, which will run a periodic interrupt function. Let's take a look at how that program example works. First, at the very top of the program, they need to include the Timer1 file, saying the library itself, called Timer1, needs to be used by the rest of this program, so we have to include it. Next, we're explaining what this example does. Basically, a timer is blinking an LED, timed interrupt. Which LED? This is a keyword we haven't seen before, but this is the literal spelling that's recognized by the Arduino compiler. This says the built-in LED, which is number 13 on the boards that we're using, that's the one that's going to be blinking. How often will it blink? Every 150,000 microseconds, or every 0.15 seconds. Looking at this two lines of code here, what's happening is timer 1 is initialized with this value. We're saying 150,000. Again, that's microseconds. Next, we're saying timer 1 is attached to an interrupt function called blink LED. That is the name of the interrupt function, which we'll see on the next slide. Here's a volatile keyword again. And here is the blink LED function. This is the one that will execute every time that timer runs out. So net result, LED changes state, and a variable, which includes the count of how many times the LED has blinked, that's going to be updated every time this function runs. Then in the main loop, simply going to print out the blink count. Not too much happening in the main loop. Right down here is just printing out to the serial monitor how many times the LED has blinked. Here's the hands-on. Install the Timer1 library. Use the library manager to install it. For more info on that library, again, here's that link. Once the library is installed, go to the Arduino IDE, select examples, go down to the Timer1, and there's an interrupt example shown in a little bit more detail here in the upper left. Read through the program and test it, remembering again it was just explained on the previous slides.